Hey everyone, today I'm talking about a piece of gear that's been a total game saver for my studio setup, the Avid Pro Tools HDX 16x16 analog interface. If you've ever struggled with noisy preamps, limited inputs, or just the frustration of not having enough clean analog channels to record a full band at once, this thing might be exactly what you need. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So, what's the big deal about this interface? Well, first off, it's built specifically for Pro Tools HD systems, which means if you're running a professional studio or even a serious home setup with HDX or HD native cards, this is the kind of interface that just slots right in without any fuss. I've got a small project studio where I record bands, podcasts, and sometimes even voiceovers, and the last thing I want is to run out of inputs or deal with hissy preamps. This unit gives me 16 inputs and 16 outputs over analog, so I can track a full drum kit, guitars, bass, and vocals all at the same time without having to bounce tracks or compromise on quality. One of the things I love about the HDX is how quiet the preamps are. I've used cheaper interfaces before where even with the gain turned down, you could hear a low-level hum or noise floor that just wasn't ideal for recording. But with this, the preamps are clean, and the converters are solid. I've recorded everything from acoustic guitars to loud electric amps, and the signal comes through crystal clear. Plus, the build quality is top-notch, it's not some flimsy plastic box. It's got that professional Avid build, so it's not going anywhere even if you're moving it around a bit. Another big plus for me is the flexibility. I've got it set up in my studio, but I also take it to live sessions sometimes when I need to record a full band on location. The fact that it's rack-mountable means it fits neatly into my setup, and the sturdy construction means it can handle being tossed in the back of a van without any issues. Plus, it's got all the connections you'd want, DB25 for the analog I/O, which makes cabling a breeze compared to dealing with a ton of individual XLR or TRS cables. If you've ever spent 20 minutes just trying to untangle a rat's nest of cables, you'll appreciate how much easier this makes things. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, this sounds expensive. And yeah, it's not cheap. But if you're serious about your recordings and you need reliability and quality, this is one of those pieces of gear where you get what you pay for. It's not something you'll outgrow quickly either. I've had mine for a few years now, and it's still running strong. Plus, if you're running Pro Tools HD, this is the interface Avid designed to work with it, so you're not going to run into compatibility issues or weird latency problems. Let me talk about the setup process for a second. I'm not exactly a tech genius, but I was able to get this thing up and running in about 10 minutes. Avid's documentation is pretty straightforward, and once you've got your HD card installed in your computer, hooking up the HDX is just a matter of connecting the included cables and powering it on. Pro Tools recognized it right away, and I didn't have to mess around with drivers or anything. That's a huge plus in my book, no headaches, just plug and play. One thing to keep in mind though, is that this interface is pretty big and heavy. It's not something you're going to toss in a backpack and take to a coffee shop session. It's designed for studio or live use where you've got a dedicated space for it. Also, if you're not running Pro Tools HD, this might not be the right interface for you. It's built specifically for HD systems, so if you're on a budget or using a different DAW, you might want to look elsewhere. So, to wrap this up, if you're running a Pro Tools HD system and you need a reliable, high-quality 16x16 analog interface, the Avid HDX is definitely worth considering. It's quiet, it's built like a tank, and it just works. The price tag might make you hesitate, but if you're serious about your recordings, it's an investment that pays off in the long run. Check the link below if you want to see the current price and availability.